everyone, we're doing another live. Oh, I just saw you. The background is like a
the moving background.
Yeah. So yeah, another live from Ubud Writers and Readers Festival, and this time is with Tracey Lien, right? Lien, yeah. So it's funny because I did a few of these lives, and Kmai actually saw the lives, and then Kmai actually texted me to talk to you, and I had to come clean to Tracey that I actually kind of cock-blocked stalking your book because I thought it was only a murder mystery, and then I talked to my team Sarah, and then she was like, Ka, it fits our theme. Why didn't you buy it before the sincerely apologies for that.
This is the first time I've ever heard someone say that they cock blocked. So there's a first for everyone.
But yeah, we will redeem ourselves and stock your book after I'm back in Jakarta. So Tracey, how are you liking the festival?
Oh, this is wonderful. Like it's such an intimate setting where like readers and authors can mingle so easily. So it's really lovely.
Yeah. Is this your first time to Bali or Ubud?
First time in Indonesia.
Wow. Yeah. Okay, amazing. That's amazing. And what do you think of it?
Oh, I mean, everyone is so friendly, and Bali in particular is gorgeous.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's wonderful.
That's great. So looks like you're coming back for your second book, probably.
I hope you're back. Yeah. I mean, if you want to lay the groundwork for it, I have no issues with that.
Yeah. So, tell me what your book is about, and we have to state, because the last time I did this, we actually forgot to mention the title of the book.
Okay.
So yeah.
I got you.
Yeah.
So my novel is titled All That's Left Unsaid, and it's a literary murder mystery. It's set in the year 1996 in a place called Cabramatta, which is a Vietnamese refugee enclave in Sydney, Australia. So it's a real place. And the story begins when a 17-year-old boy is beaten to death at a Cabramatta restaurant. When his older sister returns home for the funeral, she learns that the police are completely stumped by her brother's case. About a dozen witnesses were present, and they all claim to have seen nothing. So she takes it upon herself to track down each witness to find out what happened, and with each chapter you get closer and closer to finding out.
Yeah. So yeah, that part I think that made me think that, oh, this is just another murder mystery, right? But then I talked to my team, and then she was like, no, but the book is like the core of the book is actually about returning home, and coming back home after some time, and kind of reconnecting with your roots again. Would you say that?
Yeah, and I think I also wrote it because I wanted to challenge the myth of the model minority. So in places like Australia, in America, even in the UK to some extent, and I'd say across Europe, Asian people have this reputation for being the model minority. Quiet, hardworking, studious, good at math. And we sort of buy into that, right? And many people buy into that, believing that this is the path to success. This is the path to being treated with fairness and with dignity, challenging that. In this case, my main character is a woman named Tran, and she has a younger brother named Denny, and Denny is the one who was murdered. And Key's thinking, my brother and I are model minorities. We worked so hard. We do everything right, like and the police are indifferent, and no one seems to want to help. Right? Like, how is that fair? How is that being treated with dignity? And so for her, it's a reckoning, right? She has to confront this idea that she has to confront her place in Australia. So yeah, it is about coming home and
he did like bad things that Asian people will rebellious stance.
I wouldn't characterize Key as being rebellious. Certainly defy expectations and stereotypes. Yeah.
Tell me about the process of writing this book. Did you actually background that you don't have to do it, or?
So I had to do research because I set the book in 1996, and even though I grew up in Cabramatta, so I grew up in this place where I've set my novel. In 1996, I was only 8 years old, right? And if you think of how much, and so I had to do research. My novel touches on like the heroin trade and the heroin crisis, so I had to research into, well, what did that look like?
Right.
Even things like I wanted to know, like, how was heroin bought and sold?
Right.
Because I have no idea.
Yeah.
I wanted to know, how does someone start injecting drugs? Right? Because for me, the idea, I wanted to understand why someone might. Right? And so there was a lot of research into both the time, the place, my imagination.
Right. Okay. So I asked this question again to another author as well. Did you have someone in mind to be your audience? Like, would you want, like, when you write it, when you were writing it, did you think that you want more to have an audience in
so
your
this
mind?
might sound like a cop-out, but then I'll be able to read it.
Right.
And what I mean by that isn't just like, you know, the more the merrier. It was like, but I believe that she's telling the truth. That it was written for them. And then if someone in America or another part of the world reads it, I want them to be able to understand what's going on. So here's an example. In the book, I use like I reference food, like pho.
Yeah.
Vietnamese soup for Sydney would think, oh, this isn't for me.
Yeah,
She's
right.
explaining this for someone else, right?
Yeah.
Similarly, if I use the term slip, slop, slap, which is an Australian slogan for sun safety, and some Americans don't understand that, but if I explained it, then Australians would think, well, this isn't for me. Why would she have to explain slip, slop, slap? And so my goal was, don't explain anything, but provide enough context so that a reader in Jakarta would be able to just figure it out.
Yeah.
Right? Because I think a lot of like sheet a stretch.
Yeah.
Right? Like if I'm reading an American book and they talk about eating sloppy joes for lunch.
Yeah.
What is a sloppy joe?
Yeah, that's
right?
true.
Right?
Yeah,
But
American books
you
are like
stretch,
that.
you know?
Yeah.
And so I wanted people to stretch while also wanting Australian readers to feel like, yeah, this is an Australian book.
Wow, that is very smart. Yeah, but yeah, I know what you mean. A lot of American books are like that. They feel like they own pop culture, so they think their reference is like well known throughout the world. That's how I feel, at least. But yeah, this festival there are 2 Vietnamese-Australian, right? I don't know if it's crazy. Like as you said, it's about time, but
It's about time, and it's exciting.
Yeah,
I think there have, for decades now, there have been a lot of Vietnamese Australians and Asian Australians in Australia. But our stories just haven't been exported.
Yeah.
You know, Australia exports a very narrow image of itself. So that when most people think of Australia, they think of the outback or they think of the lawn surfers on the beach.
Yeah.
And that is part of Australia, but it's not the full picture. So my hope is that we start to export more stories and different images of Australia.
And especially the Southeast Asian immigrant communities in Australia because of the proximity. But it's very unfortunate that we're not more connected, especially via stories and via books. So yeah, okay. Thank you so much, Tracey. I hope your books
in Australia.
Yeah. So congratulations on that. I hope it reach other best. You know, like this is always a pressure for authors. Like, are you working on your second book?
I am working on another book. I'm still figuring it out.
Right.
So for now, I'll just say like, buy my first book at transittalk once it's in stock. No pressure.
Yeah, that's true. Okay, thank you so much, Tracey.
Thank you.
Bye, everyone. Thank you so much for doing this.
Is that okay?
Yeah, I think so. It that happened too when I did it there. But the recording is actually good. Yeah. So yeah.